I realized I had a passion for the law when I was in college. I was taking a civil rights class in a classroom here in Birmingham, just a few blocks away from the 16th Street Baptist Church and Kelly Ingram Park. And I really saw and understood how a lawyer and how the law was so important in helping bring justice to those who had been injured or suffered. I can remember one moment in my life that really shaped my character. It was around the time that my son was born. He's 19 now, but he wanted to come into the world a little early, 2 months early. And I can remember how helpless I felt as we waited on him to be born, as we watched him through the glass in the neonatal intensive care unit, unable to even touch him. But I did see doctors and nurses that were there providing care, taking care of him. And I realized that, my purpose here on this earth is to serve others and to provide a service and to do a job. And there are others that God gives specific talents to that are able to assist. And those doctors and nurses, if it weren't for them and the grace of God, my son wouldn't have been okay. When I first meet with a client, the most important thing I tell them is to focus on getting better. The people that I represent have already been through a traumatic event. They've suffered injuries. The last thing I want them to be worried about is the legal side of their case. I'm going to handle that for them. I want them to focus on getting better. Going back to that civil rights class I took in college, I saw how the law could be used to address specific instances of injustice. But I also saw through the civil rights movement how that movement could be used to shape the making of new laws to address injustices. And because of that, I developed a passion for public service. I was elected 3 times to the Alabama Senate. During my tenure there, I served as majority leader of the Senate, and I was able to pass laws to address injustice and address the many needs that the people of Alabama have. Needs for education, for roads, for health care. It's always been a passion of mine, and it still is today. My favorite part about Alabama is its diversity. The diversity of our people, the diversity of our geography. We have at one end of the state sandy white beaches, and at the other end of the state we have mountains. We have more miles of navigable waterways in the state of Alabama than any other state in the nation. We have so much diversity within our people, and that's what I love most about Alabama. It's important for me to reflect, to take some time out of each day to reflect on what I'm doing, how that is impacting those around me, how it's helping, and so that I can see some of the positive things that I'm helping to create for my family, my clients, for society as a whole. That gives me fuel and helps recharge my batteries to keep going.